It was just before lockdown, it was the summer before, and I was just finding that I didn't have anything positive like that I was doing in my spare time. Like I do music for a job, so in my spare time trying to do a different hobby is kind of became more necessary, I guess. Skating is such a therapeutic thing. It's like you can only really focus on that at that like moment in time. You're focused on your feet, you're focused on your surroundings, you're focused on your body weight. And I think I needed that. And funnily enough, I feel like I needed to fall over as well. I felt more myself than I ever have over the last 2 years back skating. And I feel like it's due to just like the falling over and getting back up again.
Fuck me.
I am Stuart Ramage, and I'm one of the people that started Kingston DIY.
Sold a sandwich in Moretti, dragged the hamper careless. I planned a limousine, but life got bold and stank a werewolf. So I practiced with a mask and fluffy tail, drugged a sluggish snail. Burger on a cheap, I read the rule book and I picked my teeth. Whiskey deep, why burn the diary? Leviathan got grumpy, rust up, keep it quiet, speak and twist your dull diadem and fins, keep it pious, clean the metal with your friends who didn't riot, look, dirty got biked on, all them all obscure, naked round the barbecue, practice resignation, claim a star or two, ain't got nothing smart to do, name badge still owing Mr. Marmaduke, caught the mirror falsifying passports and karma too, spit down at armours new, dragged my sodden carcass from the farm and so the arms are through, let me hang my satchel on your hook, dripping in the soup, sweat, soup dead, animals in dingy sheds, unmasked their adulthood like.
Yeah, I remember we were down what we now know is like the old Kingston hip. I think we'd been kicked out of the car park maybe 3 days in a row or something like that. And that's when Rowan was looking on Google Maps and saw just around the corner, you could see the Kingston location. I went down, I remember it was pitch black. And I was shining a light on the floor to see if it was skatable or not. And it was like, you know, touch and go, but it was dry. It was only the next time I went down during the day, you saw the state of the place. It was really gross. There's thick dirt everywhere. And on top of that, there was like needles and general drug paraphernalia and all that nonsense. You know, it was dangerous. I think we're lucky that you usually go out skating with a few people, like at the early stages for sure. At the beginning, we didn't want to build a skate park. We just wanted to build a ledge. We'd maybe put the ledge in, and then the second night we went down, there was people skating there. I remember it had already got out somehow. I mean, we knew nobody from the Glasgow scene before we started building Kingston. So like, it's kind of funny that just somehow someone knew about it. And these people were sick at skating. So we're like, right, these must be like the good skaters of Glasgow. So like everyone's gonna know about this spot soon. So we made the Instagram. That was maybe in the first week we got nearly 1,000 followers or something like that. And people were messaging us being like, well, like what's happening with this space? Like, are you building more? Where can we put money into it? Which was mental. And at that point we were like, maybe we're gonna have to build some more things. I don't have any experience building. I remember when we put the ledge in, it was just cinder blocks and the thinnest bit of concrete, and then we glued the coping on, and obviously it fell apart like within weeks. We got a lot of help from the archers at the start. They helped us like show us how to finish ramps and what tools we should get, and you know, slowly from there we're getting different people down from different backgrounds just showing us their own techniques. Yeah, I would have absolutely zero interest in building anything unless it was a skate park. It's mental that when it's for something you care about, the struggles kind of go out the window. Like carrying bricks and moving rubble all day, because at the end of the day you know you're going to have a ramp there that you're going to enjoy skating. It's been really inspiring seeing how the community react to the space. We've been working with the Kinning Park community. Their whole thing is like taking ownership of the land and the community taking ownership of their area. And we get people that live in the flats, like if there's ever any trouble down there, you get sent a photo to the Instagram account being like, look, there's people having fires, there's people like fanning about, and it means we can keep on top of like making sure it's a safe space, which is really lovely. And on top of that, the amount of people that don't skate that come and clean up. Like they say they stare at their flats and look at that space, and like, you know, it was terrifying before at night, and I think now that they can look over and there's people like there skating and hanging out, and there's like a little garden bit. It's amazing seeing that support. Yeah, at the start in particular of Kingston, we had a lot of people of authority coming down, and they stopped us halfway through a build. I remember we were putting a big quarter in, and they stopped us, and they were going around fining people for being there. After like the early stages, once we got into building bigger stuff, the police came down a few times, and they sort of changed their tune and were thanking us. Came down one day and they're like, classic policeman way, just like walked up and was like, right, what's going on here then? And we're like, obviously shat ourselves. We're like, well, just like building these ramps for people. And he's like, all right, okay, why are you doing that? Is there not already a skate park here? And we're like, no, we've built the whole thing. And he was like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought this was always here. And I was like, no, we've built the whole thing. And he was like, okay, well, thank you very much. Like, there's been a lot less crime like around this area, and like we've come across a lot less trouble around here since this has been in place. And we're like, well, thanks, but could you have not said that at the start? Red Bull messaged us quite early on saying that they have like a part of their company that donates to DIYs across the UK. So we were like, well, yeah, if we can get some free concrete, why not? And spoke to some of the other DIYs in Scotland about it, and they're like, yeah, it's free concrete, get it. When we first used a pallet from Red Bull, we got quite a few messages from people being like, oh, don't do this, you're ruining the skate culture, you've already ruined your DIY park by letting them in and all this stuff. And the confrontation that you get is quite heavy sometimes, and it's not even just with the Red Bull stuff, it's people telling you that you're building it wrong or you're doing it not the way they want it. It's pretty heavy because it's like, if this isn't DIY culture, I'm fucking trying to do it myself. The amount of people on Instagram telling us this is how you should do it, or people like, you shouldn't take money from Red Bull, you should raise it yourself. I'm like, fucking let us do it ourselves then. Like, let us make the choices we want to make. Let's build the ramps we want to build. It's really hard not to take it personal, but I feel like now we're, what, a year and a half through, it's getting a bit easier. You just ignore it and you just be like, I love to skate here, and if it's quiet, I like it. You know, and if there's people that skate there that like to skate there, it's even, like, you know, even better. At the moment, we're in a crazy cycle where it's just like, right, we have no money. We do a little bit of funding and we get maybe 500 to £1,000. We spend that and we build ramps, and then it's empty again. So the main goal is to try and secure maybe like yearly or annual funding and be able to pay wages to everybody that helps. And I want to be able to like create jobs down there. I want to be able to pay a janitor to look after the space, or like someone down there every day making sure it's safe. Parents can drop off their kids for lessons and they're not going to worry about them, and like, it's doable. It's like, you know, it already happens at the moment. It's just like, we could make it better, and I want it to feel as safe as possible. So any way we can do that, the better. I think that's the main goals for the future, and yeah, just skate it.